Hey everybody, welcome to the workshop. In today's episode, we're going to be making a jig for pin turning. So let's get started. Okay, what kind of jig we're going to be making today is a jig for the pin blanks. So when it comes to turning pin blanks and you're using your gouge and the thing is turning and it whacks the gouge, that's what we call an interrupted cut. That right there, it still works to do it that way. However, there is consequences sometimes. So as you can see with this blank right here that I was trying to turn for what was that? A multi-tool. And so you can see I got it drilled out. I got the tube glued in and I started to turn it, and what happened? The wood just snapped off. So this is the kind of thing that I want to try to minimize. I'm not going to say that it's possible to eliminate the problem altogether, but we can try to minimize it. So what I want to do is be able to make a jig to where I can cut the corners off. So that way it's a little closer to round when I go to turn it, and hopefully minimize this from happening. So what I decided to do was I decided to start off by buying a miter slot runner, and I wanted to get some angle iron to be able to have the blank sit inside of. So I went to my local Home Depot and I got extremely lucky. So what I've got here is a piece of aluminum angle, and it is 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch. And so this is perfect. My thought was I was going to get 3/4 by 3/4 and have to cut it down. This way I didn't have to. I just got extremely lucky. Oops. So what I'm going to do is cut this down. So as you can see here, with it being shorter on this side, I'm going to mount this channel at an angle. So this way. So what I'm going to do is run it through the bandsaw like so in order to nip off these edges, and I'll just flip it each time. So that's what I've got this right here for. So that was the initial thought, and I was also going to use a piece of scrap plywood that I have to make the base, and then I was just going to find another piece of scrap to cut at a 45-degree angle to mount this to. So that was the process, or the thought process anyways. Well, I already bought this. I bought this, and I've got the scrap piece of wood, and I was all ready to go. Well, the other day I was looking around for something, and I happened to find this right here. Now this right here came off of a sled that I used to have for my table saw, and this side right here was the side that sat on opposite the blade, so that way when you're cutting, the piece would fall off onto here. That's what this right here was for, and I thought, hey, this is great. It's already got the miter slot piece on it. It's already a piece of MDF, and it's already mounted to it. It fits into my slot. And even though there's still a little bit of a gap right here, that's not going to be an issue. We're not talking about a huge amount of tool pressure or anything like this. But I was like, hey, that right there saves me some time. I didn't even realize I had this. The second thing is these cutoffs that I have as well. And these are already cut at a 45-degree angle. And I kept the offcuts as we all do, because we all think that we could use them, and most of the time we don't. But in this case, I've got an excellent opportunity for this. So what I'm going to do is, this is already set. I'm not going to change this, but I am going to take my offcut here, and I'm going to mount it somewhere along in here to my board. And then I will adjust it as needed, and then I will mount it to it. Then what I'll do is I'll cut me a piece of channel, and I'll screw it to here, so that way my blank is like so. So I found a use for offcuts, and this is nice too, because even though this is a jig and you might think that it's This is Bolivian rosewood, so that's going to be kind of an expensive jig, you know, for this, but I didn't really know what else I was going to do with the offcuts, so this is going to be perfect for doing this. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get started on this now. Okay, we're ready for the next step in the process. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I want both of these to be lined up together, and this one is a little bit longer. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw and I'm going to cut it off to the same size as this. I don't actually have to do that, but I just think it'll make it look a tad bit nicer, that it'll all be nice and even. And then I'm going to glue these two pieces up. Once again, not really necessary, but I am going to be mounting this onto here. So let's get this cut. We'll get this glued up, and then I've already got my drill bit here, so I'm going to drill 2 holes because all I've got is 2 screws. I'll drill 2 holes. I'll countersink them. This is aluminum, but we can still do all this with our regular tools. Standard drill bits can work in all kinds of things, wood, plastic, even metals. So that's okay. So we're going to do that, and we're also going to get this cleaned up because after I cut it before, I forgot to clean it up. So we're going to get a few steps done. So let's get started with that. Now, one thing about exotic woods, which this is that Bolivian rosewood, is that it can be really oily, some of these exotics. So I'm going to give it a little wipe down in between where the glue joint is going to be, so then that way I get better adhesion. mean to do that. Perfect. All right. It's been long enough. Now it's time to take it out of the clamps. All right, now I need something to clean this off with. I'll just use this. Okay, now we're looking pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach this to this. Since this has got that melamine on there, I'm going to sand this a little bit, kind of rough it up, and then I'm going to use some CA glue to adhere the two together as a temporary hold. So since I already have holes here drilled into it, what I'm going to do is put this on here, CA it down for the time being, making sure that I get it put in the right position that I want it to be in. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to, actually I probably need to do this first, but go ahead and countersink these holes. Then I'll put the screws into here, drilling through here to attach it. So, and I may end up adding another one or two just for good measure. But that's how I'm going to attach this to here, so that way I don't mess up my top, and I'm not trying to go down from the top down, which really wouldn't matter, but I just want to make sure I don't have any screws sticking through here and scratching up my cast iron top. So let's get to that next. excellent. It looks a little bit crude, but it's going to get the job done. This is pretty awesome, but we need to actually test it out. So let's go back to the bandsaw and give it a quick test. Okay, this is awesome. This is all I'm trying to achieve right here, is cutting off these little pieces. Like I say, that's all I'm trying to achieve with this jig. Now, is it perfect? No. When I got it on there, I ended up getting it cockeyed just a little bit. But you know what? In this case, it's perfectly fine, because the whole point is just to knock off those edges so that when I go to turn it, it'll be a whole lot less of this to have to take off. And it's not so much the time is the issue as in just trying to remove those interrupted cuts. So this is going to be perfect for me, and I absolutely love this. So this is hopefully will make it a little bit easier to do. And bonus, it is nice to not turn all of that into shavings too, to have to clean up later. So I know that's not really a big deal, but I'm looking at it as a positive, so what can I say? So this was awesome. Well, I hope that you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all again next time in the workshop.